Hello. That's right. Here we go. I'm doing readings. One of my projects right now, I'm doing a reading of the New Testament. The entire thing, reading it cold. As a counterbalance, just for myself, for fun, I'm also reading cold the entire I Want to Go Home, a scholastic book by Korman about camp. So we're going to go ahead, if you're joining us, we're on page 7. I'm still in chapter 1, and we're going to say, it just takes forever, so we're going to just go through it. Let's launch into it. Mike Webster trudged slowly along the pathway to cabin 13, his new suitcase dragging at his hand and his guitar slung over his bony shoulder. The sun was too hot. He felt as though his pale skin was burning already. Camp, he reflected, was everything he had expected it to be. Big, strange, isolated, and generally rotten. It was his parents' idea of a reward for getting top marks in school. He thanked his lucky stars that he hadn't flunked. But that probably would have meant the rack. As it was, he'd been banished to this island camp for a whole month. 4 weeks of nothing but sports. What a depressing thought. From inside the cabin, he could hear excited chatter. Grimly, he entered. Several boys were gathered at the rear, surrounding a bunk which was shut off from the rest of the room by drapes. "Don't tell me," blurted Mike. "We're quarantined with mumps." One of the boys turned to face him. "No, it's probably just a net." "Probably," asked Mike. "Don't you know?" "I'm not poking around in there," said another boy. "Look at that sign." Mike read the sign. "Is there anybody in there?" "Who knows?" shrugged a tall boy. "My bunk is up front. Why should I worry about that?" Why should I worry about it? With a sinking heart, Mike looked around. All the bunks were occupied except for the one right above the mysterious nut. Zonked again. Camp was getting worse by the minute. Cautiously, he climbed up the small wooden ladder and looked at his bed. "Hey! There are no sheets up here!" "Tough!" came a muffled voice from below. "There is someone in there," whispered one of the boys. "Are those my sheets?" Mike demanded of the hidden present. "They came from up there," said the voice. "Well, this is where I have to sleep," shouted Mike. "Well, this is where I have to sleep!" shouted Mike. Chip came bounding into the cabin. "What's going on in here? What's all the yelling about?" He stopped short at the sight of the draped bunk. "Miller! Is that you in there?" He ripped the sheets down, revealing Rudy and his disc player. Rudy turned off the music. "I just wanted a little privacy," he said quietly. "Nobody comes to camp for privacy," said Chip brightly. "Only because they can't get any," Ruby replied. He toned over and switched the CD back on. "Wake me up in a month." Chip stared at him for a moment and then turned to Mike. "Hi, I didn't catch you on the way in. What's your name?" "Mike Webster." "Mike Webster," Mike replied without much enthusiasm. "Welcome aboard! I'm Chip, your camp counselor." He gestured to the rest of the boys. Obviously Miller's a little homesick, he said in a low voice. "We'll all have to do our best to make him feel at home." "He's a nut," said Harold Green, a short blonde boy. "Why did our cabin have to get stuck with a nut?" "Knock it off," said Chip. "He's just homesick. He'll come around once we get to the activities. Here, Webster. I'll help you make your bunk." And that's 2 pages, but you know what? We're going to stop there because we're at another stopping point. So there's 2 more pages. This is going to take forever. From Korman's I Want to Go Home scholastic book. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and please come back for more or join me on my other playlist for readings of the New Testament, which I'm a little zippier, I gotta say. But this is fun, right? Ooh, what's going on with the boys? Anyway, have a good day.